we're missing a piece of the puzzle. You start getting healthy and you just become a better person. We need to start focusing more on the individual.
All right. I know a lot of y'all are excited about the topic tonight. I know that a lot of you all are new to the channel. You've come to the channel learning about the 72-hour fast and all of that stuff. All right, we got a lot of ground to cover tonight. So I want y'all to bear with me. Be ready to, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into it for a little bit. But before we get into the topic, okay, I want to do the special announcement. So I want to get that out the way. If y'all are ready to get into the special announcement, hit that like button for me, and we're going to get into this. Also, okay, when we get to the question and answer portion of the live stream, if you all want to make sure that your question gets answered, use a super chat. Okay, I will be responding to all of the super chats. So, I mean, if you want to super chat now, you can super chat now. But I'm telling you, if you when we get into the question and answer portion, I'm going to do my best to go through the questions. But if you want to super chat, I'm going to make sure to get all the super chats. All right. Let's see. As you all know, a healthy alternative has been around for about 5 years now. Well, some of y'all know. It was established in December of 2016. So we just had our birthday, and in almost exactly 5 years, we reached our 100,000 subscriber mark. That mark really changed things for me, how I perceive the brand, because for some of you who don't know, maybe you don't pay attention, AHA has been struggling tremendously on YouTube, specifically on YouTube, for the past 2 years, right? So 2 out of the 5 years have been the hardest, and they've been the most recent 2 years. I decided to shift things around, approach things a little bit differently. And you all see that change happening towards the end of December. And so that's when I did the video about the 72-hour fast, and the channel just took off. And of course, we garnered nearly 15,000 subscribers in the past month. So it's been phenomenal. But part of hitting the 100,000 subscriber mark is you get to earn this illustrious reward with YouTube called a silver play button. And I wanted to share the unboxing and just, you know what I mean, just share some words and some emotions with you all, because obviously you can't reach 100,000 subscribers without 100,000 people subscribing to you. And that means something, right? That's not to be taken for granted. That's not a small thing. You know, you just think about putting, 16 or 20,000 people in an arena watching a basketball game. Our community, specifically on YouTube, is over 100,000 strong, and that's significant. So I got the package, y'all. I got this earlier this week, and I scheduled the live stream because I wanted to do this with you guys, and I wanted you to be a part of this. But when I was actually applying for this, or just going through the process, I was looking at other creators, do their unboxings and talk about their experience. And I'm not gonna lie, like, I got a little bit emotional because, from the outside looking in, like, you all, unless you're content creators, you don't have a grasp on what it takes to get to this point. With so many, with so many different channels and things that blow up and go viral, it almost feels like a novelty. But this is not easy to do by any means. Some people get lucky, they blow up overnight. Okay, cool. But that's not the norm. And you start thinking about all of the work. Like, most of y'all might not notice, but my old school subscribers know, whenever I used to release a video, like back in the day, maybe two years ago, I would respond to every single comment. I would have hundreds or thousands of comments, and I would respond to all of them, right? That was my level of dedication. And I continue to have that same level of dedication. I just got to allocate my resources differently. I can't be in the comment section as much. But they sent me this nice little letter. Appreciate you, YouTube, for the nice letter. And here's the award, y'all. So I'm going to take it out the package. So here it is. There it is, y'all. That's what we all been waiting for. This is going up on the wall, probably next to the Panther. And I want you all to know that I appreciate the viewership. I appreciate the engagement. It has literally meant everything to me. Like, even when I do my consultations and things, I want y'all to understand that if it weren't for the fact that you all, come to me and you talk about the outcomes that you're able to get and the benefit of being a part of this community, I probably would have stopped doing it. So, your comments, I read the majority of the comments. I don't always respond, but I read the majority of them. And hearing what you all are able to accomplish, hearing that you all are, doing the 72-hour fasting, you're seeing results. Like, we have so many people in the comment section of that video talking about how they've just started or they've already started and they've lost X amount of weight in X amount of time. And I'm just so excited to see you all getting outcomes. And so from this point forward, well, actually from the beginning of the year, I decided I'm going to get more engaged with you, make sure that I'm making content you all are specifically asking for. And we're going to keep growing. We're definitely pushing for 200,000. So we want to go from 100,000 to 200,000 this year. And we've made a really good start. So thank you very much. All right. So now that we got all the mushy stuff out of the way, I see some super chats here. Let me see if I can check them. Rebuilding Together said, big congratulations to you, Chris, for the tireless commitment and dedication. Listen, you are very welcome. It is very tireless. If anybody who interacts with me on a regular basis, y'all know I'm up all the time. I'm always interacting. I'm always doing something. I'm always working. So, but that's what it takes, right? Like, if you want to see consistent growth in your life, whether it's building a YouTube channel or reversing diabetes, that's the level of dedication you want to have. So thank you. Natasha said, can you put vinegar, cayenne pepper, and or lemon in your water while fasting, or do you just fast on plain water? My recommendation is to fast on plain water. Anytime you add anything else to your water when you fast, it's going to detract from the detox unless you're adding something to your water which explicitly helps with the detox process. So I'm not 100% sure. That sounds like maybe like the master cleanse almost. I don't know, because I'm not too familiar. I don't want to lie. But I recommend water only unless you just feel like you can't go on, like you feel faint. Or if you just want a moderate detox, you could put stuff in your water. Okay. And then Michelle, I appreciate the super chat. All right. So, Sharmani 66. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Appreciate the love. Christina said, hi, Chris. I'm on day 6 of my 30-day water fast. I want to know, in terms of refeeding, if I use the OMAD, which is 1 meal a day protocol, do I break the fast and only eat 1 meal, or do I eat more? So, if you're, I would just keep going with OMAD. If you're doing a water fast and you're refeeding, if you're used to doing OMAD, or it's only going to benefit you. The less we eat, the better. Okay, that's just kind of like a rule of thumb. OMAD, I would say go OMAD, to be honest with you. All right. So, okay. So now, what's the topic today? How to properly perform a water fast. All right. Why is this topic so popular? Because we realize that through the process of water fasting, we can get some really amazing outcomes, and it doesn't take long, right? So most people are under the impression that in order to lose weight, you got to go to the gym, you got to eat right, you got to do all these things, and it's going to be an uphill struggle. Yes, you can lose weight that way, but it's not the most efficient way to lose weight. We have a better option. And I think that's one of the reasons why you all are here. You realize that. So if you're looking to lose weight, reverse disease, or maybe just bolster the work you've already done. You want better sleep. You want better sexual performance. You want better clarity. You want to remember things better. Fasting helps with all of this stuff, right? So one of the major mistakes that I see with people when it comes to fasting, especially beginners, they don't know that there is such a thing as prepping for your fast. You know, this is literally one of the the biggest mistake that I see people make is that they see all the content on the YouTube channel and they want to jump into a fast. It's probably the worst thing you could do. I understand your zeal. I understand that you're excited and you see all these outcomes people are getting. But if you want to set yourself up for success long term, you want to learn how to prepare. You want to calm your mind and you want to focus your energy on building a foundation. Okay. And so the way you build a foundation is through preparation. I outline a 7-day prep. And the way you prep and the way that you're going to execute this is all going to depend on what you want. So, for example, there's different sides of this scale. If you're just strictly interested in losing weight, maybe you really don't have any other major issues besides your weight, then you could take a more moderate approach, right? If you have stage 4 cancer, then you're going to want to take a more aggressive approach, right? So how I interact with people when I do my consultations and things, it's going to be different from how I talk about on the YouTube channel, because I'm going to speak generally. You know, I don't know your individual situation, so you all can take this as general information. And if you need more concise information, we have made ourselves very available. So we've got several coaches on the AHA team, and you know, we're really easy to get in touch with. Join our YouTube or join our Facebook, join our Instagram. I want to make sure y'all know too, like we have an Instagram channel. I don't talk about it too much, but I would love for you all to join. It's a.healthy.alternative on Instagram. So if y'all want to join us on Instagram, and you know, we have all these outlets for getting more concise information. So start with a 7-day prep, okay? And the most important piece of the prep is hydration. Most of us think that hydration means drinking water. Drinking water may or may not hydrate you, right? And the reason why I say that is because I know people who drink a gallon or even 2 gallons of water a day. They go to the doctor to get their hydration levels tested, and the doctor tells them they're dehydrated. How? How is that possible? That's an enormous amount of water to drink in a day. So how is someone who drinks that much water dehydrated? And the reason why is because your hydration levels have nothing to do with how much water you drink and everything to do with how much water you absorb. Like, it's literally how much water are you actually absorbing? Think about it, y'all. If you drink, let's just say you drink 32 ounces of water within an hour period of time, how soon after you drink that water are you running to the bathroom, right? What do you think is happening? You're drinking the water, it's going in, you're working your kidneys, and then it's being filtered out. There's no absorption happening. So then the question becomes, how do we better absorb our water? And this is one of the things that I've been teaching you all. But when it relates to preparation for fasting, this is vital, because everything I'm about to teach you is going to help you get better outcomes when you're fasting. You're going to detox more efficiently. You're going to have less extreme highs and lows. Okay, so you're not going to feel as extreme hunger pains. You're not going to feel as extreme headaches. Like, everything will be more mild. It's not going to go away completely, but it's going to be more mild. So this is why you want to listen to this. If you struggle with fasting for long periods of time, you want to learn how to prep properly. This will help you fast longer. All right. So the way that you hydrate, the most efficient way is by eating your water. We've talked about this many times. You want to be eating high water content foods. That's why you always hear me talk about high water content. And what does that mean? Well, if we are let's say we're 72% water. Okay. That's like Americans. I think the average American is like 72% water. That means we're dehydrated. And the way I know that is because the cells are pretty much pure water. They're like 99% water. So if we're made out of human cells and they're 99% water, But we are only 72% water. That means we're dehydrated. Okay? So we want to increase those hydration levels. And the way that you do it is by eating your water and being intentional about hydrating better. Now, how is this going to correlate as a benefit when you fast? Well, when you fast and you're dehydrated, guess what happens? You're going to get more intense headaches. I don't know about y'all, but my mom always told me, I said, Mom, I got a headache. Mom, my stomach hurts. Mom, something's wrong. Well, Chris, maybe you just need to drink more water. She would tell me that all the time. I know y'all's mom told you that, you know? And we just brushed it off like, well, what's water going to do? Well, what we really needed was hydration. So my mom's not wrong in saying that we need water. We just need to make sure that water is getting inside of our cells, right? So that's the benefit of hydration, water in the cells. If you eat your water, meaning you're eating fruits and vegetables that are 75% water content or greater, because if we are 72% water content and we're eating things that are 72% water content, that's not increasing our hydration. We want to eat more hydrating things so it can add to our level of hydration. And it's a balance, right? Because you can eat an apple, which might be 85% water, but then you go and eat a cracker. See what I'm saying? And that's only less than 10% water. So that brings our average down. And I'm not trying to turn this into a math class, but what I'm saying is we have to be more intentional about eating more water because we're going to eat things and drink things that are dehydrating. And this is why the hydration thing is such a struggle. We got to understand this balance. You want to stay away from coffee. You want to stay away from alcohol. You want to stay away from pizza and ice cream and all these dehydrating things, especially when your focus is on weight loss, disease reversal. You know, you want to get rid of your fibroids. Maybe you're dealing with infertility. You know what I mean? Like, what's more important to you? The pizza, the coffee, the alcohol, or the outcomes you desire in life? And that's really the question here. So hydrate better. You want to look at eliminating meat, dairy products, processed foods, and refined sugars from your diet. Now, you can eat a little bit of this stuff, right? I don't expect y'all to be perfect, but your intention should be on preparing meals from home, or at least having meals prepared from scratch and delivered to you. And you want to drink more water, and you just want to eat more fruits and vegetables. Okay? So this is the main foundation for the prep, and I've been talking about it for a while because it's so important, but hopefully you all get it. If you haven't seen my video where I talk about the sun water technique, you know, all you got to do is look for it on YouTube. Just put in a healthy alternative sun water, okay? And that's a technique for teaching you how to make your drinking water more hydrating, right? That's ultimately what it's going to do, which is going to help hydrate the cells. When you hydrate the cells, they release their cellular waste, because most of the disease we're dealing with is inflammation. Cellular inflammation is very prominent in a disease-ridden body. If you hydrate well, that means water in the cells can release their waste. It's such a valuable resource. Well, let's see. Malaysia said if you have nightmares from trauma, they seem to get more intense, and insecurities are intensified while fasting after the 72 hours. How can you minimize the intense dreams and nightmares? So that's interesting. That's very interesting, because what I have learned is through this wellness journey, we actually shouldn't be having nightmares. We shouldn't be having like night terrors and waking up in cold sweats and all of that stuff. What we actually we should have pleasant dreams for the most part. Sometimes dreams are going to teach you something, but they shouldn't frighten you, right? That is actually showing dysfunction in the body. And what I noticed is that as you get healthier, nightmares and things of that nature, they will go away. I'm going to give you a kind of like from left field example for what you might be able to do to help mitigate this. But get yourself some juniper berry. And I think you do already use the essential oils, if I remember correctly, get yourself some juniper berry and just take it. You could take it throughout the day. You put it in your water or whatever, but make sure to have it before you go to sleep. Maybe give yourself a couple hours or whatever and take it before you go to sleep. That should help with the night terrors. But understand that the fasting is not what's causing it, right? You may have deep-seated issues that have been buried in you. The fasting is just unearthing that stuff. It's not causing it, right? Meaning that if you didn't have those deep-seated problems, it wouldn't make that happen. But your stuff is being brought to the surface so it can be released. So while I can completely understand why you wouldn't want to experience that, I would also encourage you to keep going, because it needs to come out. One of the issues we have is we're muzzled in modern society. We are very, very muzzled. So the best thing that we could do is encourage allowing this stuff to come out of us. Step 2 of the process, or the second most important thing when it comes to, preparing for a fast, you want to make sure that you're looking at your dietary habits. You want to adjust when you eat, and you want to adjust what you're eating. So as you're preparing for your fast, and like I said, I like to do this over the period of 7 days, you want to skip breakfast. Okay, from day 1, stop eating breakfast. Breakfast is so detrimental. The reason why is because in the morning is when the body is looking to eliminate food, right? That's what the body wants to do early in the morning. So usually you'll notice you're going to have a bowel movement, you're going to have a urination, something of that nature is going to take place. And that's going to determine like where you are based on your circadian rhythm. When you're coughing up mucus and you're expelling stuff, your body is saying, hey, I'm evacuating right now. Okay. But what we've been conditioned to do during this time is to eat. Instead of allowing our body to evacuate and maybe even, helping our body, assisting our body in letting go of this material, we eat. We stuff our face in the morning. All right. And what this does is it saps your energy first thing in the morning, because I know we've been taught that we eat and it gives us energy, but we don't see that. We don't actually see that happening. We see that when we eat, it makes us tired. Just think about it. One of the things that I noticed when I was doing construction, we would eat probably around 11 or 12, and I'd be okay before lunchtime. I'd be okay. My energy was decent. We would eat and I'd be ready to go to sleep. I wouldn't want to go back to work. I mean, it was a whole running joke on the construction site to make sure you get your guys in, you get them going early, because after lunch, they're not going to do anything. Okay. So this is what we're seeing. We're seeing that eating is sapping our energy. You don't want to sap your energy first thing in the morning, because that really sets you up for the rest of the day, right? Sets you up for failure. What you want to do is give yourself about 4 to 5 hours before you wake up, before you start eating. Maybe have some water with some lemon in it or lime juice in it. At the very most, maybe have a smoothie. You could do like some fruit juice or some coconut water, but you don't want to be eating. If you're preparing for your fast, you want to make sure that you're pushing your first meal out. Now, I'm going to give y'all another pro tip. When you're preparing for your fast, you also want to be eating closer. You want to eat your larger meal closer to like midday. Because we've been taught eat your larger meal at night, right? You want to eat your larger meal at dinner time, 6 p.m., 8 p.m., whatever. What you actually want to do is eat your larger meal during midday. Now, it's important to eat well, okay? But the sun actually helps you metabolize food. So if you eat towards midday, instead of eating later on in the evening, you have, number one, more time to digest your food, and also the sun will assist you, right? Now, why is this important? Changing when you eat, the frequency of when you eat and kind of how you eat. One of the major things that causes people to fail with their water fasting is they deal with hunger pangs, okay? Hunger pangs will throw people completely off track. So, and to help mitigate hunger pangs, what you want to do is change the frequency and the density of the foods. You want to eat less frequent and you want to eat more high water content foods. This is going to help with the actual hunger pangs, because in preparation for eliminating food or for digesting food, the body produces a chemical called ghrelin. Okay, ghrelin is this digestive fluid, and it essentially assists the body in breaking the food down. But it's also the thing that's associated with the hunger pangs. So if you go in ahead of time and you change the frequency and the density of the foods that you eat, the body produces this chemical less frequently, and it produces it in a lighter, it's not as intense. So this is great for preparing for your fast, because, if the hunger pangs mess you up, then this is going to kind of mitigate that. Okay, so everybody's a little different for why they why they kind of aren't successful in their fast. But if you're one of the people where the hunger pangs really get you, this is a good technique. So we're going to change what we eat, which we're going to talk about again. Well, we kind of brushed on it before. We're going to talk about it again. We change how we eat, right? 2 meals a day when you're prepping. You have your lunch, which should be your larger meal. Then you have your dinner, which should just be a lighter meal. And then we talked about staying away from meats, dairy products, processed foods, and refined sugars. Okay. The reason why you want to stay away from meats, dairy products, and processed refined sugars is because these foods are toxic. Meat inherently isn't toxic, and dairy inherently isn't toxic, but the processing that we do to it makes it toxic. All right. So while we're looking to flush and while we're looking to lose weight and to reverse disease, you just want to either eliminate that stuff or keep it to a minimal. If you're going to eat it, which I know some of you are going to eat it in spite of, I would highly recommend that you go to a local dairy farmer. You go and you get a high quality source dairy product or meat. That makes a big difference. All right. So now that we've learned, okay, hydration is important, we're going to hydrate better. We're going to eat a higher quality meat if we eat it, or we're just going to eliminate it. All right. Now what we do is we want to move to portions. So you want to reduce the portion sizes of the negative food that you eat. If you're eating the meat, if you're eating the dairy and stuff, you want to reduce how much you eat of that and increase more of the fruits and vegetables. Remember earlier, before the stream got knocked down, we were talking about how you want to eat high water content stuff. So you eat more high water content stuff, less of the bad stuff. All right. And then what I encourage people to do as you get later in the week, maybe day 4, day 5, switch to 1 meal a day. Instead of eating the 2 meals a day we previously outlined, switch to eating 1 meal a day. This will allow you to start the process of detoxing and really start the healing process before you get into your fast. I want you all to understand this is like a more general approach to a preparation process. So I saw a question, hey, is this necessary for the 72-hour fast? It's not 100% necessary because it's such a short fast, but some people have trouble doing the 3-day fast, So if you're new to fasting, or if you're having trouble with your 3-day fasting, then you're going to want to do this. In general, I would recommend this for everybody, whether it's a 3-day fast, 1-day fast, 10-day fast, 30-day fast. You want to prep, because the prep isn't just preparing you specifically to be successful at the fast. It's also preparing you to be successful at the lifestyle changes you're going to have to make after the fast in order to maintain the benefit that you garnered from doing the fast. Does that make sense? Right? Like, we're not going to be able to fast, lose the weight, reverse the diabetes, get the blood pressure down, get the cholesterol under control, and then go back to the habits that caused us to be in that place in the first place. I'm also teaching you all how to shift your lifestyle. So I really do recommend the prep, and look at it as, look at it as something you can implement to help to transition your lifestyle. I'll also say that on the back end, now this is where it does become important. On the back end, when we talk about refeeding, okay, so now you done fasted for 3 months. You did the rolling 72 for 3 months. Now you're ready to move back into some type of normalcy, okay? Whatever you're going to be doing for the most part. So maybe you're going to switch to, one meal a day, or maybe you're going to switch to an intermittent fasting schedule, or, maybe you're just going to start skipping breakfast and you're going to, eat better. Before you go back into whatever your normal dietary strategy is going to be, you need to do what's called a refeed. And what the refeed is, it allows you to ease your system back into eating and digesting more dense foods. If you have done the prep, you will understand the refeed, because the prep and the refeed are going to be similar. So this is another reason why it's important to pay attention to the prep. All right. And I just wanted to say that because we got that question. Now I'm going to finish this prep out. So you're going to switch to OMAD on day 4 and day 5. Okay. You're going to eat one meal a day. We're creating a gradient. We don't want you to go from eating Chinese buffet, pizza, whatever you want, to fasting. It's going to shock your body. So this prep is creating a gradient. You're going from, you're making more and more intense changes as time progresses throughout this week. After day 5, you're going to switch to juice fasting. Okay. So everything you've done up until this point, you've hydrated better. You're changing your dietary habits. You're eating more water. You're eliminating the toxic foods. You're down to one meal a day. Now you're going to move to juice. And by moving to juice, what that's going to do is it's going to get your body off of solid food. And when I say juice, I mean fresh squeezed juice. I don't mean like take a fruit, put it in a blender and drink that. That's a smoothie. I mean actual juice. You want to take the solid food out because it gives your body an opportunity to adjust to only taking in liquid. And because the juice still has a little bit of sustenance in it, it's a little bit of easier transition than going straight to water. You're not going to detox as heavy. Remember, we're creating a gradient. So day 6 and day 7, you're going to do juice. Now, you could do any kind of juice you want. I know a lot of you all are going to lean towards fresh squeezed, like green juice. That's fine. But if you want to do pineapple juice, orange juice, or a combination of juice, that's all good. All right. But on day 7, the last 12 hours, so from noon, day 7, noon o'clock, from noon o'clock to midnight, you want to make sure you're only drinking green juice. Say from 12 noon on day 7 of your prep to midnight, if you're going to have anything, it's going to be green juice. The reason why is because the first 12 to 16 hours of your fast, the body is going to release sugar. It's going to eliminate the sugar in the system. So by doing juice for the last 12 hours of your prep, you're starting that process. You're allowing the body to start releasing the sugar from your system. What this makes is a much easier transition when you go from juice fasting to water fasting, right? We just created this really easy gradient. So now you're ready to do your fast. Now, when you do your refeed, okay, when you do your refeed, you're going to do these things in reverse. You're going to break your fast with juicy fruit. You're going to have juice, fresh juice or juicy fruit. You could do, a broth. I recommend vegetable broth. I know some of y'all are going to do bone broth. I recommend vegetable broth. And that's how you're going to break your fast. The next day, you're going to start incorporating like soup, you want a light soup, like a light vegetable soup. You're going to do steamed vegetables. You're going to do raw fruit. If you were to eat raw on day 2, that'd be great. You know what I mean? But you still want to stay away from like really dense stuff like nuts and grains and things of that nature. You want to make sure that it's light and full of water. On day 3, you can start incorporating your nuts, your grains, maybe some raw vegetables and things of that nature. You can start having more dense food. All right. On day, what are we at? 3, 4. On day 4, you can start having like things like pasta, bread, things of that nature. You can kind of incorporate into it. So all we're doing is we are going from the least dense food possible, which is like fruit, raw fruit and fruit juice and soup, which is water. And we're going to more dense foods. Okay. So as you start getting into day 5 and day 6, you want to start incorporating, meat and dairy products, stuff like that. You could do that on the tail end of your refeed. So that's how you want to kind of come out of your refeed. All right. So I'm about to start getting into some of these questions for y'all. So I'm gonna go back a little bit, but remember, if you want to make sure that I answer your question, make sure to do a super chat, okay? Because we got a lot of questions, so just make sure to do a super chat. All right, Pat said, Chris, is there anywhere I can find more of your recipes other than your YouTube? And will you be writing a recipe book in the future? Great question. So, for y'all who don't know, we are about to host a trip to the Smoky Mountains. We're going to the Smoky Mountains from February 6th to the 9th. We have a couple spots left, so if anybody wants to be spontaneous and grab a room, I'll put the link in the chat for you. But one of the things I wanted to do was get all of our pending items out of the way. And then I'm going to actually have the team focus on putting a cookbook together, because I was going to do it myself, but I was like, man, this is going to take too long. So we're actually going to start developing the cookbook probably within the next week or two. We're going to start, because everything for the trip is already kind of laid out. But one of the things we're doing in the trip is we're going to be cooking, so we figured this would be a good time to focus on, meals and things of that nature. So this is going to be a great tool for y'all. I know you've been asking for a cookbook for years. So we got the cookbook. It's coming. So don't worry, that is coming. You have my word. Over the next 2 months, we are going to be focused on putting that thing together. But to answer your question, I put recipes out super sporadically. There's no collection of recipes, except for if you get a journal. If you all grab one of our wellness journals, this is one. We have 2 versions, but this is one of them. If you grab one of the wellness journals, I do have recipes in the wellness journal. I call it a recipe guide. It's not like a full book, but we have some recipes available. So, and then what we've done is the journal is expandable. So what we've done is you could click a QR code so that when we update the recipes and things like that. Oh no. Okay, the QR code's not on this page. But when you update the recipe, when we update the recipes, we'll be adding them to the actual journal. So you just click the QR code and you'll have access. So hopefully that answers your question. I kind of over answered it a little bit, but official cookbook's coming soon. Belinda said the journals are fantastic. Y'all, hey, listen, thank you so much for your feedback on the journals. Like, you really have made my day, because so much time and energy went into making those journals and stuff like that. And it really means a lot that you all enjoy them. So yeah. All right. Let's see if I can go back and look at some of these questions. So, well, I already answered that. Is it necessary to do the prep for the rolling 72s? No, it's not. It's not required. It's highly suggested. Oh yeah, if y'all could click the like button, because we lost a couple hundred people. So if we could click the like button, maybe we can get some of these people back on. They might not know that I came back on. Let me see here. Looks like we don't. Okay. What about coconut during the water fast? How many coconuts per day? So the only time that I'm going to recommend doing coconuts is if you're doing a water fast and you are at a place where you're at your wit's end, you feel like, okay, I'm done, I can't continue. Then what you want to do is you want to go get you some coconuts. Okay. And we're talking about fresh coconuts. So you actually crack the coconut open and drink the water. That's going to be optimal. If you all can't find coconuts, or if you're being lazy, a good brand to use would be Harmless Harvest. All right. I think Whole Foods sells it. It's not too hard to find. But so that would be the recommended brand if you're going to drink, a processed coconut water. But I highly, highly, highly encourage you, just go to the Asian food mart, or, the Indian food mart, or, Whole Foods has them. A lot of places have them. You want to make sure to get a drinking coconut, because there's 2 different kinds. You got the kind you drink and the kind you just cook with. So that's when I would suggest it. You could also do fresh juice in that case as well. Like, it's really just for when you're at your wit's end, because fasting's hard. And I would rather you all have some fresh juice or some fresh coconut water to get you past that hurdle than for you to just be like, okay, I'm throwing my fast out the window. All right. Okay. So Christina said, while I water fast for 30 days, is the refeed schedule half of that? Thank you. Your channel has been a blessing. Well, thank you. I appreciate your viewership. I really do want y'all to know that I don't take for granted the fact that you all trust me, right? Like, some people just they get hype off of having followers and all that stuff. I don't even consider anybody who follows the channel a follower. I consider you all a member of our community and our family. So I want you all to know that all the information that I put out is always thoroughly vetted. Unless if it's not, I'll tell you that. All right. I'll be like, well, this is my opinion, or this is what I think. But with that being said, it's tricky when it comes to the refeed. Refeeds aren't as cut and dry. The way that I try to teach people how to refeed is, here are some outlines for how you refeed. Here's some timelines. But what you want to do is pay attention to how your body is reacting to the refeed. Okay. That's the most important thing. Don't let a guru or anybody else tell you what to do, what feels good for you. Make sure that your refeed feels good and comfortable to you, right? So what that means is, you're going to start the way that we talked, with water, fruit juice, and you could even do tea, herbal tea. You could do broth. You could do whole food, like fruit and stuff. And as you start introducing different foods back into your diet, put some time in between your meals, right? Make sure that you're monitoring how is your body responding to what you just put in your system. This is the absolute best way to go about this, because your body is going to give you feedback, especially coming off of a 30-day fast or something like that. Your body is going to be very sensitive. It is going to give you feedback. So the best thing that you could do, use what I'm teaching as a guideline. And then as you're eating, if you eat something and you could feel that it made your stomach feel some kind of way, remove that. You're not ready to eat that yet. Even some healthy foods that you might consider healthy. Broccoli is one of them. People have issues with broccoli. Broccoli gives people gas. Why? Because it's a hybrid fruit, or it's a hybrid vegetable. I'm sorry. So although we traditionally look at broccoli as a healthy food item, your body may not register it that way, right? Beans have been drilled into our mind. Eat beans. A lot of people want to break their fast with beans. If you notice, I didn't really talk about beans. I'm not really a huge fan of beans. Y'all know that old saying, beans is good for your heart. The more you eat, the more you fart. Y'all thought I wasn't going to say it. I said it. The more you fart, okay? If something gives you gas, guess what? It's not in that moment, it's not good for you. I'm not saying that beans don't have benefit. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, listen to your body. If you're getting gassy, if you're getting bloated, if you're getting acid reflux, reel back on what you're eating. Now I'm going to give y'all a little bonus. I'm going to give y'all a bonus. Okay. I'm going to give you a bonus because y'all are rocking with me. The Zoom got shut down earlier. The live got shut down. Mono fasting, y'all. Mono fasting is one of the most amazing techniques you could use when you're coming off of a 30-day water fast. And this is going to help you determine what you can consume, what's going to be beneficial and what's going to be problematic. Okay. Mono fasting is literally where you eat one whole food item per meal. All right. I'm going to give y'all some broad examples. Number one, watermelon. One meal for your mono fasting could be watermelon. You're just eating all watermelon. You could eat all watermelon all day, or you could just eat it for one meal. And then for your second meal, you could have mango, for example. So that's mono fasting. What you don't do with mono fasting is you don't say, okay, I'm only eating hamburgers for my mono meal. That's not a mono meal. It needs to be a whole food. Or For example, if you used sea moss, right? You could make sea moss gel. So you've processed the sea moss into sea moss gel, and you could have sea moss, and that would also be the same, right? So if you did, let's say you did apple juice or something, that would be okay as well for your mono meal. But the goal here is to really look at the whole food item. How is it affecting your system, right? And that's going to help you determine what's good for you or not. So if you want to eat beans, if you think beans are good, go ahead, have a meal with just beans, right? You you do kidney beans and you just eat the kidney beans. I mean, you could cook them, you could season them, because we're not eating raw beans, because we dry our beans out, which, by the way, is not, they don't come dry off the plant. We should be eating them off the plant. It's going to have the enzymes and everything. But that's, I think, part of the processing of the beans is why they are detrimental. But yeah, you just eat one food item, one whole food item, and see how your body responds. And that will let you know whether or not you should eat it. And that will help you make these determinations for how long you refeed, how you refeed. Just pay attention to your body. That's the real answer, right? I can't just tell y'all, but I do make general statements and suggestions, because we typically look at this generally speaking. We've got a large audience. So I think there was another super chat here I might have missed. Okay, love yourself first. I'm on day 3 of a 28-day fast. Any advice for extended fast? What is the longest fast you've done? What hardships did you endure? Now, you don't put like 5 questions in your one question. All right, I'm just joking. I'm gonna answer all of them. Okay, any advice for extended fasts? My first piece of advice is what we've been talking about during the beginning of this live stream. Make sure you prep first. Now, that's non-negotiable. When you do a long fast, you really need to prep first, okay? That's number 1. Number 2, learn more about detox methods. Fasting is a form of a detox, but we can do much more intentional detoxing before we fast, so that when we fast, we have less intense detox symptoms. So, for example, there are many different herbal blends out there that you can use to start flushing the system out, whether it's a parasite cleanse, whether it is a tummy tuck. Y'all know what I'm talking about. They're very popular. Find yourself some high quality herbs, and when you're doing your prep, start taking the herbs, start taking those teas. This is going to help tremendously with your long-term fasting. Also, make sure you're focused on hydration. You gotta hydrate. You have to, okay? The last thing that I will say, I find that mentally it's better when you don't set an end goal, right? So if you say, okay, I want to do a long-term fast, just say, okay, I want to do a long-term fast. That's my goal. Don't say I'm going to do 10 days. Don't say I'm going to do 15 days. Because what happens is, as you start getting closer to that day, it gets harder. I'm telling you from experience, it gets harder. So when you leave it open-ended, right? Every day, I encourage people, do what we call a MEPS check. Okay, you want to check in with yourself mentally. How do you feel? Are you in a good mental space? Do you feel mentally strong? Emotionally, how do you feel emotionally? Are you having extreme highs and lows? Are you feeling unbalanced? Right? Check in with yourself. You want to do mentally, emotionally, physically. Are you maybe feeling like dizziness? Are you feeling faint? Or do you feel strong? Do you feel like you go to the gym? And then spiritually or energetically, you want to look at all of these different elements of yourself each day and just make sure that you feel well enough to continue your fast. If the answer is yes, go with it. If the answer is no, break it. But you want to make sure that any decision you make is your conscious decision. All right. What's the longest fast I've ever done? I did 30 days. Okay. The 30-day fast I did is what I call a hybrid fast. And I'm going to do a video in the future talking about it. But if y'all are interested, I don't know the name of the video I did in the past talking about it, but I did do a video in the past talking about it, but I'm going to do another one. But you basically utilize water, juice, and dry fasting. And the way I do it is in a very specific manner to help to get longer fasts. My longest water fast, water only, was 13 days. So water only, I did 13 days. Dry only, I did 6 days. I've never done like a super long juice fast. I might have done like, I don't know, 10 days or something maybe on juice. I can't really tell you. I don't really remember. But my longest fast in totality, it was 30 days. The hardships that I endured, I endured a lot of hunger pangs for me personally. And also keep in mind that I didn't have the coaching, I didn't have the training. So I dealt with a lot of hunger pangs. I dealt with a lot of thoughts. You know, you get these thoughts. Why am I doing this? You know, you kind of feel like you're torturing yourself. That's very, very common, I think, but I definitely dealt with that. I also dealt with really intense weakness. Like because of where I was, my build and the amount of toxicity in my system, I would deal with a lot of weakness. As a matter of fact, when I actually broke my water fast, my 13-day water fast, which it was supposed to be 40, I broke it because I felt so ill that I thought I might die. Okay, so remember, this is like 5-6 years ago. I didn't know any of the stuff I know now, but I just felt like I was gonna die. So what else? Cravings were crazy. But what I learned about cravings is that when you're experiencing a craving, what's actually happening is you're releasing the chemical constituents that make up that food that you're craving, right? So when I was craving stuff I hadn't eaten for years. Sloppy Joe. The last time I had sloppy Joe, I was a child living with my mom, right? But this goes to show you how long these foods stay inside you, right? That quote that says you are what you eat, that's for real. You really do. The stuff you eat really does become a part of your physiology. And I know this because when I started fasting, it came out. But until that point, it was still in there, just flowing in my bloodstream. You know, so it's of a vital importance that when you are experiencing cravings, do not give into your cravings, because that's your body's way of letting that stuff go. If you give into the cravings, then you're losing. You're going to lose. You lose to it. If you could get past it, then guess what? The cravings are gone. They're gone until, of course, you eat too much of that food thing. And then, you know, but I say to reframe how you all look and interact with cravings. They're a good thing. It means your body is letting something go and you need to work with it. Do not give in to cravings, okay? Can you drink herbal tea on a fast? Okay, so with the tea, when people say herbal tea, they say that they mean different things. You want non-caffeinated tea. I usually recommend that it's a loose leaf tea. And then I also will say that if you're going to drink tea, drink a tea that's going to be a benefit to you. So when I drink a tea on my fast, it's some type of cleanse. It's some type of, you know, flush. It's something that is designed to help to exacerbate the detox. Now, that's a good thing because if your elimination pathways aren't clear, like if your elimination pathways aren't clear, it does make your fast more difficult. You're going to experience more intense detox, and you're going to experience it more frequently. They're going to last longer. This is part of the reason why I tell you all the prep, because it's going to start clearing out those elimination pathways. So if you're going to take a tea, take something that's going to help clear the elimination pathways, clear your lymphatic system, clear your intestinal tract, right? Like these things are going to benefit you. Okay. But what I would say, don't drink tea just because you want something, a taste in your mouth. You know what I mean? Be intentional about it. Having a journal is a must. Thank you. Thank you. Having a journal. Listen, it's your wellness companion, y'all. Okay, super chat. What about fasting while anemic? Here's the thing. I understand the question, and I understand the line of thinking behind it. When you're dealing with anemia, or when you're dealing with deficiencies, we think, because we've been taught, you need to consume something to help with that deficiency, right? Like, you know, if you're vitamin D deficient, someone's going to say supplement with vitamin D. Most of the deficiencies that we're dealing with are their absorption issues. We're not absorbing the nutrients from the things we're eating. So the reason fasting is such an amazing tool is it helps to clear that gunk, the mucus, all of the stuff that blocks absorption. So if you're dealing with anemia and you're fasting, one thing that I would say you definitely just want to be careful about is your blood pressure, maybe feeling faint, feeling lightheaded, things of that nature. You just want to be careful. I don't think that you're going to get into any serious trouble, but you probably don't want to be operating heavy machinery. You know what I'm saying? Like you just want to be careful about that, because when we're healing, it's not always going to feel good. It's not always going to be pleasant. Sometimes we have to lay ourselves down, So I would just say, be aware of how you feel, like while you're fasting. Now, there's some things you could do before you start fasting, or there's some things you could take while you're fasting to help. So when it comes to anemia, I have personally seen improvement from doing sea moss gel. All right. Sea moss gel helps. It's going to be a supplement that you're going to take daily, but a high quality sea moss gel is something you could take, and you could probably take that on your fast. It's going to have minimal impact on the fast. It'll probably help you more than it hurts you. So that's a good option for what you could do while you're on your fast. You could also do whole vitamins. Okay. So what we're missing when we supplement is we usually want to supplement with a synthetic. We want to supplement with something that's not real. It's man-made. The problem is that the body doesn't assimilate inorganic material. So you want to make sure that if you're supplementing with something for iron or whatever, you want it to be in the form of a plant, essentially, because plants produce organic iron. That's where you get your iron from. A plant is organic iron. So just make sure you have a whole vitamin, and you could do that. Okay. You could take that with your fast. You could take it before your fast. You want to be eating foods that are rich in iron, or rich, in whatever you're missing, whatever the thing is you're missing. So like butternut squash, flax seeds, chia seeds, right? Go on Google, find out what foods are high in iron, and eat those as you prepare for your fast during your prep week. Okay. Supplement with maybe some supplements, that whole food supplements, whole vitamins, and get yourself some sea moss gel. Okay. Those should help. After the refeed, how do I maintain and not regain all that I lost? Dietary change. There's really nothing. You can't do too much other than that. You're going to have to change what you've eaten. You don't have to change exactly like all the foods. Like you can never eat pizza again or chicken wings again, but you want to reduce the quantity that you eat these foods, and you want to increase the quality. So for example, if we're just taking pizza and chicken wings, for example, first of all, make your chicken wings at home from scratch. That's number one. That's going to improve the quality just by doing that. Go to a local organic farmer, okay, and get your meat from them and make your wings from scratch. That goes leaps and bounds. Better than going to B-Dubs, better than going to Popeyes, better than going to McDonald's or no. Taco Bell has wings now, which is weird, right? I cannot speak on the quality of the meat. It means everything. Even if you go to Whole Foods and you get the top wellness rating, you got to change what you're doing, because what you've been doing is giving you the outcome you currently have. So you got to change it. There's no getting around it. If you're not willing to change, you're wasting your time. You're just going to end up right back where you are. I'm not going to say you're wasting your time, but you're delaying the inevitable. Okay. You might feel better in the moment, but you're gonna have to keep fasting. You're gonna have to keep doing these kind of more intense things. And ultimately people they're not consistent with that. So eat a higher quality food. If you're going to eat bad stuff, skip breakfast, just eliminate breakfast, just don't do breakfast anymore. Just get in the habit of not doing breakfast. Another good technique, move to one meal a day. So maybe you're stubborn, maybe you are fixed in your ways, you're going to eat what you're going to eat. One of the best things you could do is adopt one meal a day strategy. At the very least, if you're going to eat what you're going to eat, only eat it once a day. This is going to help you maintain so much better than if you were to eat it 2-3 times a day, right? Now, one meal a day means you're eating one time a day. That means no gum in between, no nuts in between, no snacks, no chips, none of that. If you want to eat what you want to eat and not gain the weight back and not deal with the disease that comes along with it, that means for 1 hour out of the day, you're eating, and for the rest of the day, you don't eat. And you do that every day. That will help you maintain. That will help you maintain. I don't recommend it because, once again, it's so much easier. Just change what you're eating. And you enjoy life more. Like, I'm telling y'all, my quality of life through the roof now that I've changed the way I eat. Sister said, please read, love yourself first. Yes, love yourself first. Put yourself first. Make sure that you are the most important person in your life. I know that's contrary to what we've been taught. You're supposed to love your spouse and your children, and everything is supposed to come before you. But if you don't love yourself first and put yourself first, you cannot give to those people that you love and the people that you say you're supposed to be looking out for. You got to take care of home first. What do you think about water fasting with candida overgrowth? Some say it makes it worse. But what if you fast while taking enzymes, herbs, and probiotic supplements? I don't know about candida growth getting worse on a fast. That's not something that I have ever heard or experienced. I think that might be a misrepresentation of what's happening. When you fast, it stirs things up. We talked about this earlier. It's going to unearth problems that are already there. So when you say it makes it worse, what you might be referring to is the fact that when something is dying off, it doesn't necessarily die off gracefully. It's going to kick and fight and go screaming. It's going to be pooping. It's going to be peeing. It's going to be punching holes in the wall. So sometimes it gets worse before it gets better. I don't think that fasting makes it worse. However, I would encourage someone who is dealing with candida growth to really lean into herbal supplements, revitalizing the liver. So I would probably say, look at doing a liver and gallbladder flush, not just one, but the whole process. Okay, the one that I like is the one by Andreas Moritz. It's called the Amazing Liver and Gallbladder Flush. So this is the one you want to get. And the way you're supposed to perform this flush is you do it until there's certain markers to let you know it's finished. So you're going to do it several times. That's a good way to deal with candida overgrowth. Off the top of my head, I don't know an essential oil that can aid, but I'm sure there's an essential oil that aids in it. First, let me say this. If any of you all are having any very specific issues, I want you to know that we have services available. We have, coaching available. It might make sense to do a one-on-one, okay? Because some of these questions are going to be very specific, and the answers, you kind of need to have a one-on-one. So if you go to healthyalternative.org, you could schedule consultations with me and Steven. We're updating the website right now so that you all will be able to schedule directly with Marshelia and Jasmine and some of the other coaches that we're going to be bringing on board. So I just want y'all to be aware of that. But candida can be tricky. It can be tricky. There's plenty of options out there, though. You might just need to have a one-on-one conversation. Okay. What are your thoughts on women fasting during their menstrual cycle. I always get nervous during this time and switch to OMAD. What are your recommendations? The last done. All right, so listen, we tend to overcomplicate this, okay? Understand, if you're in America, all right, we have a very skewed outlook on fasting. Fasting doesn't hurt you. So you can fast when you're on your menstrual cycle. Now, are you going to experience some different things? Yes. Okay. If your goal is fasting for weight loss, like if that's your goal, I'm fasting because I want to lose weight. If you're on your cycle, you're probably going to experience some water retention. So that might be a little discouraging. But as far as like it being unhealthy or whatever, just pay attention to your particular experience. You know, like we talked about earlier with the anemia question, check in with yourself. If you feel too faint, if you feel too weak and you need to perform at work, either go home and go to sleep, or if you can't do that, have some fresh squeezed juice or have some coconut water. Okay. I don't want y'all pushing yourselves too hard. This is a journey. It's okay to go light. It's okay to take your time. But as far as like, does fasting have some type of negative impact on your menstrual cycle? No, the complete opposite. Women who have adopted fasting as a regular habit, especially those who have done dietary changes, they very frequently tell me how their menstrual cycle has gotten lighter, how they're not experiencing heavy flows anymore, their period doesn't last as long, like all of these great benefits. So it may get worse before it gets better, but you're okay to fast through it. Just check in with yourself during that time. Just make sure that you feel good to continue doing your fast. That's it. Chantel asks, can I tame Root brand products can I take? Yes. Okay. So I spoke to the CEO of the company and he said that the number one Root brand product that I recommend is Clean Slate. Okay. Clean Slate is the number one product that I recommend from them. I'm not saying that the other products aren't good or beneficial, but I'm saying that when I brought it to the community, it was because of Clean Slate. The other products are amazing. The only question people have when it comes to the Root brand is there's cane sugar in the Restore product. So most people ask me about the cane sugar in the Restore product. And one of the things that we talked about when I spoke to him was they use a high quality cane sugar. Remember, cane sugar is a natural sugar, okay? Sugar cane. They use a high quality sugar cane, and it's in there in order to, I can't remember the exact terminology, but it's a catalyst for making the product function the way it needs to function. So it's there because not for just flavor or taste, it's there for a reason. But he said that it doesn't take you out of ketosis when you take it. Most people fast when we fast, most people are fasting for the benefits you get from ketosis. So it won't break your fast. Now, if you're fasting for a religious reason, or if you're just a what do I call it, like a pure water fasting type of person, you're not going to want to take the Root product because you're taking something else in versus just water. So it kind of depends on, where you are, what the outcomes you desire are. But as far as, disease reversal, weight loss, you could take it and it's not going to have like a negative impact or whatever. Steven has actually been practicing fasting while taking the Root brand. And I put the link to the Root products in the comment, or in the comment if y'all want to check that out. But and you need a link in order to purchase the products, just so y'all know. But Clean Slate is the one you want to take, because what Clean Slate does is it has zeolites in it, okay? And the zeolites bind to the heavy metals in your system and they usher the heavy metals out. I've been taking it for a couple of months now, but I just upped my dosage and I'm itching now. Like I can feel the material being moved out of my system, but the bottom of my feet have been really itchy the past couple of days because I just increased my dosage. So it's a great product. It works well. There's really nothing on the market that I have found that removes heavy metals that well. Like, I'm very, very pleased with it, and I'm going to continue taking it for months to come. But the good thing about Root is it's designed to be a product that you don't have to take forever. Okay. You can if you want to, but the goal here is to get your body back functioning properly so that your body can then pick up and keep you maintained as long as you're not reabsorbing stuff. So, okay. Valerie said, can you talk about detoxing memories or emotions? It's something I didn't learn about until this channel. Okay. When I was reading the question, I was like, oh, how does she know that? And then you said, oh, you learned it from us. Okay. You're right. The benefit of watching this channel is we're going to talk about a lot of things that other people don't talk about. Why? Because we actually fast in real life. Like, we do this for real. When you're just reading about it, you only have that person's experience that you're reading about, right? When you have your own personal experience, it really affords you the ability to teach and to really elaborate on what happens. So what I noticed was when I would fast for, I would say 10 days or more. So when you're talking about emotional detoxing, energetic detoxing, things of that nature, you want to be in the realm of 10 plus days of fasting, okay? Because we have to understand, when you fast, the body does different things at different time frames. If you fast for one day, what your body is going to work on in that first day is going to be different than what it works on in day 3 or day 10. So you are going to experience an array of emotions. These emotions are likely going to be attached to traumatic things that may have happened or good things that may have happened. All right. So this is the connection, the memory, the traumatic memory, or, I'm assuming these are traumatic memories which you're talking about. They're going to be attached to the emotion. So as you feel the emotion coming out of you, or if you have the inclination of thinking about something that happened while you're on your fast, it's literally just like the cravings. When you randomly are thinking of something, maybe something that happened to you, or you randomly have an emotion about it, that's your body's way of letting you know we're passing this. And depending on how deep-seated this stuff is, depending on how you're fasting, there's a lot of different factors that's going to determine how long it's going to take for you to actually get completely past this thing. But what I could tell you is, when I started fasting, I was depressed. Like, I wouldn't call it clinical depression because I wasn't aware I was depressed, but I was. I would just tell people it was like I had a rain cloud over my head. So this is me in hindsight looking at what happened to me. I started fasting, and my fasts were almost always like 10 days or more. And that's how I kind of started to like understand this stuff. But one day I looked up and I realized that my depression had lifted. And at that point, I realized I was depressed in the past. I didn't realize it at the time. There was a relationship that I was struggling with. I'll just say the death of a relationship that I had with a young lady. I was struggling with it, and it was something that I was struggling with for 6 years. It was something that I was dealing with for 6 years. So I thought, I'm never going to get over this. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is why I think it's so relatable, because whether it's a relationship, physical abuse, verbal abuse, something traumatic that you saw, et cetera, these things, they get in us and they stay with us. So what I'm saying is, what I was experiencing was at that level, that intensity. So you start fasting. What I noticed was random emotions would pop out of me. At the time, I didn't know what it was. Like, I didn't know. And the only reason I was able to make the correlation is because I do this introspective work, but I would have missed it. And I would cry for no reason. I would be sad for no reason. I'm just fasting. Nothing's happening in my life. I'm just fasting. I would be happy for no reason. I would feel this intense sense of well-being for no reason. All these different, this array of emotions and things were coming out of me. And then one day, I just realized I was balanced. Like, I was balanced. I felt good. My outlook on life was brighter. Literally, the going outside, the air was a little fresher. The trees were a little greener. Seriously, like life had a different vibration and vigor. So you don't need to know exactly what happened to you, because I know some people deal with the recessed memories and stuff, right? Stephen, he repressed memories. Stephen repressed a lot of his memories. He doesn't remember being younger than 6 years old. All right, so there's a lot of trauma there, but you don't need to know or remember, because the body does this instinctively. You just need to give it the proper resource. Um, Juniper berry might help with this as well. Like we talked about juniper berry earlier, so that's an essential oil. But there are oils, especially with doTERRA. So doTERRA is the brand that we use and recommend because of the quality, right? The doTERRA product essential oils are just high quality products. But there's an oil called Forgive, right? Forgive helps. If you know that you're having trouble letting something go, forgiving somebody, you're carrying around that extra baggage. It's not doing anything to serve you. And it's certainly not going to serve you in new relationships. So being able to forgive people is important. So doTERRA has made it pretty easy. The way they've labeled a lot of their blends and oils, you could tell by the way it's labeled, where it kind of helps or whatever the case may be. So that's an option for you all too, to just check out the oils to just help you. And you could take the essential oils, you could take them while you fast. So that's important to know as well. I'm trying to see if I could grab y'all a link for the doTERRA, because we are affiliated with doTERRA. So if you're going to utilize the oils, I would say rock with us. All right. So what I'm gonna do real quick, since we're kind of talking about the oils, I'm just gonna put a couple oils in a bag in a cart for y'all. I'm gonna put the link in there, and then you guys can from that point you'll be connected. You can kind of purchase whatever you want. But one of the oils that I wanted to suggest for you all, if you're looking to eliminate weight and cellular detoxification, it's called Slim and Sassy. Slim and Sassy is one of those oils that's just great for whether you're doing an emotional detox or a physical detox. It's going to help the cells evacuate, which is going to help with whatever you're dealing with, energetic, mental, or physical. Okay. Juniper berry helps with the night terrors and things like that, as well as many other things. Every oil helps with many different things. Peppermint is good for headaches. So if you're fasting and you're dealing with headaches and things of that nature, peppermint is going to be a great companion for you. Okay. And then there's another one called Deep Blue. All right. Deep Blue is something that you all can use for pain. So if you're dealing with joint pain or body pain, you could use Deep Blue, and it's phenomenal. It works really, really fast. So I'm just going to, like I said, put a couple of these together for you. Wendy said, I have had a fear of detox symptoms. I'm trying to change my mindset to being glad, because it's proof that the process is working. So scared of nausea, parasites, and headaches. See, this right here, this is the reason. First of all, I could tell you've been watching the content, because that's something that I say. You want to shift your perspective on detox symptoms. Detox symptoms are a good thing, y'all. Like, it means that your body is working. It's good. It doesn't feel good, but it is good. It's kind of like when you pop your arm out of its socket, right? You're in pain, but in order to get it back in the socket and let it start to heal, you're going to have to endure more pain, right? It's just a necessary evil. So it's important to reframe how we feel about these things. So your fear of detox symptoms is legitimate in the sense that they can be very intense. However, what do you want more? Which one is the fear of your detox? Does the fear of your detox symptom outweigh the fear of not getting the outcome that you desire? Right? So everybody's going to be a little different. You may fear dying early because you have children or grandchildren and you want to be a vital part of their life as they grow. So your fear may be dying early. So then the question is, you got to weigh the fear of dying early against the fear of detox symptoms. That's one way to look at it. Another way to look at it would be the aspiration of having a long, healthy life versus the fear of detox symptoms. Which one has more weight? I like the latter better because we like positive reinforcement on this channel. So let's look at the aspiration of living a long, healthy life versus the fear of detox symptoms. Which one holds more weight? Now, that's more of a mental thing, right? But in practical tools you could use, look, we just talked about it. The liver and gallbladder flush. The liver and gallbladder flush by Andreas Moritz. It's a great tool for revitalizing the liver so that you can better eliminate. Because your liver is what's kind of doing the work, separating what you consume, the good from the bad. If you take in a candy bar and a some Swiss chard, it's a weird combination, but I'm just saying, if you eat a candy bar and then you have a salad made out of Swiss chard, the liver is going to determine what's good and what's bad and extract it so that you can get the nutrient from the good stuff and the bad stuff can go to the colon. If your liver's not working well, it puts pressure on all of the other systems in the body. That means that when you go to fast and you go to do some of these detox things, you're going to have kind of like a healing crisis. You're going to have a lot of stuff coming out. It's going to come out. It's going to come out heavy. Okay. So it's going to intensify your detox. The way you kind of help to mitigate this, get ahead of it. Start the detox prior to before you start fasting. You know, you could we talked about the herbal cleanses. You know what I mean? There's many of them out there. Get yourself a little regimen, get some herbs, and start detoxing before you do your fast. Dietary change. We talked about this when we talked about prepping. Prep, drink your water, be intentional about hydrating your body before you start the fast. All of these things are going to help in restoring your elimination pathways, giving the body resources to detox, and it'll also start a light detox. Another thing is, hey, if you're in the mix of it and you're detoxing heavy and it's too much for you to handle, have some fresh juice. It's okay. Have some fresh juice. You didn't lose. You're not a quitter. You're doing what you need to do to make it, right? You know, it's better if you don't have it, but if you're going to quit anyway, have the fresh juice. You'll live to see another day. So hopefully that answers your question. Hopefully that helps you a little bit. It's a challenging thing because you can't get rid of detox symptoms. One cool fella, appreciate the super chat. Thank you. Thank you all for coming. You know, this has been fun. You remember that we hit 100,000 subscribers, y'all. Congratulations to the team. Congratulations to everybody who was a part of this, because it wasn't just me. Okay, definitely wasn't just me. I appreciate everybody who helped AHA get to where it is. All the people behind the scenes that don't be at the forefront, that don't get the shine. You know, what we're doing with a healthy alternative is so much bigger than me or even just the YouTube brand. We are helping people. Like we're changing lives. And I'm happy to say that we've had such a great impact that there are people who are now, they want to now be a part of having that impact in people's lives. Meaning, you know, people have come in, they've got the outcomes they want, and now they're like, well, I want to be a health coach. I want to be a wellness coach, or I want to help people. And they do. Careers, people have started careers in speaking, and, you know, so I'm very taken back with what AHA has done, and you all just commenting and talking about the outcomes you're getting. I can't even put it in words how much it means. Like, it makes my day. I've had people email me and be like, hey, Chris, I know you're busy. I know you got XYZ going on, but I just wanted to let you know that, you know, thanks to this, that, and the other, now I'm XYZ and I've got this great outcome, and thank you so much. And thank you to the team. And I'm like, I always got time to read that. Like, I always got time to read that, you know? And I'll put that out there too. We want to bring more of you all on the show. I've been having a very hard time getting more people on the show. I don't know if they're scared, they're nervous, maybe the channel's getting too big. I mean, I don't know what's going on. People just don't want to be on camera. So if you have an outcome, you were able to get something from being a part of this community, and you want to share, you want your story to impact someone else. Yo, please feel free, reach out to us. Listen, I'm gonna put an email in the chat, MARCHELLEA at a healthy alternative. Okay, .org. Remember, it's .org, not .com. Okay, Marcellia at a healthyalternative.org. Reach out to her and let her know, yeah, I'd love to come on the show. I'd love to interview with Chris. I'd love to share my story. I need that. We need more of that. Okay. It's when I talk to people, one of the most impactful things people say is, oh, Steve's interview, Jasmine's interview, Shell's interview, King's interview. Like, these interviews are what are inspiring people, because we're telling real life stories, and people connect with that. Y'all know how to spell, so if I messed it up, you can make the correction. It'll get kicked back. Marcellia at a healthyalternative.org. Let her know, put interview in the caption or the subject. Let her know you want to be interviewed. I got time for y'all all day. You know what I'm saying? Because the reason I even started this brand was to help other people. That's the reason I started it. So my goal is to continue to stay grounded and make sure that I still make time for you all. Everybody's always seems surprised that I like get back to them and stuff. I'm not saying I'm perfect. I get back to everybody all the time, but I do my best. And I'm going to continue to do my best to make sure that we, like, if y'all can get in touch, you can ask questions if you need help. With that being said, that's all I got, man. I know y'all got more questions and things. I know I didn't get everybody's question. Make sure to visit us on healthyalternative.org. Okay, grab yourself a wellness journal. It's something we just revamped them. They're amazing. I wish y'all could see these comments we get. Like, people really love these things. So healthyalternative.org. Go to the shop, grab a journal. Don't forget, the retreat is coming up February 6th through the 9th. Okay, we always got a lot of stuff going on, but those are like the two major announcements that I want to make for right now. And that's it. You already know what it is. The application of knowledge is power. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and I don't even know how to end this thing. I'm gonna be checking y'all out on the flippity flop. Good night.